What's going on, draft sickos? It's your boys from No Ceilings. This is the ground floor on the field of 68. My name is Corey Tulaba, the Wolf of Ball Street. I am here, as always, with my guys, Tyler Rucker, Tyler Metcalf. We have the mad scientist and the conductor of chaos. Rucker, how we doing today?
Doing great. Anytime we get together and talk about some draft prospects, some college basketball, any basketball at all, life, I guess, too. We'll throw it in there. But I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
We got preseason games to overreact on, so who needs the regular season? Because everything we've seen in the preseason, that's all that matters, right?
I have some overreaction.
Same.
I got some risers. I got some fallers. I got some watch list guys. We're here to give you all our first impressions from these exhibition games that we've been watching. Having them all available. I know they've been televised. You know, they're all on YouTube as well. It's been really great and has out with combination of the NBA being back. It's everything I needed as the weather is starting to get chilly. I know, Rucker, you don't have to deal with that, but we do. So, you know, it makes it all better. Guys, I feel like we got to start hot on this one. And I feel like the BYU UNC game gave us a lot. It was everything I wanted. So first impressions, we got AJ DeBonta, we got Caleb Wilson, we got some other ancillary pieces. Metcalf, first impressions on the prospects from that game.
And we obviously have to start with my boy Derek Dixon, right? We got to start with AJ, potential number one pick. And I feel like it's kind of been a mixed bag with him, where it's a lot of good, it's a lot of bad, like all of the concerns concerns feels aggressive at this point in the year. All of the questions that we had with him popped up. All of the things that we loved popped up. It was a total mixed bag. But I was really encouraged with, it seemed like he had taken a massive step just between that game and the Nebraska game before that, where he wasn't a dynamic playmaker or anything, but it seemed like he was a little more willing as a passer and reading those weak side kickouts a little bit more consistently. Still a ton of work to do.
I thought maybe early in the first half.
Compared to Nebraska, though, he made a couple
of nice kicks, and then I feel like he's the same as he was during his high school season, to be completely honest. He doesn't pass to open other guys up. Like he's scoring. Like that's his mindset. And if he can't, because four guys, jump into the paint, and even then, sometimes
his priority list is get a bucket, get a foul, get a bucket, get a foul, and then a distance.
And he has been doing both of those things.
Yes.
He's been doing both. But I've seen what we saw at basically every level of high school. To me, he's the same player. And this is one of those things where I don't even know if we're going to see growth as a playmaker this year, and it might just be a bet on something long-term. But one of the things I would like to see more of, I'll tell you, I feel like he's just ISOing every possession. Can we get some ball screens for him, Rucker?
Yeah, it feels a little, just give him the ball on the elbow or give it to him, as a post-up opportunity. He's looked much better from, the Nebraska game to the North Carolina game. I agree with you guys. I think the defense also looks a little bit better, but
the off-ball defense definitely looks better.
Off-ball for sure. There's some on-ball that looks fantastic that you get really excited about, but
the off-ball stuff. The on-ball stuff's always been
right. Never been worried about.
He guards.
Yeah, he's got potential to be scary on that side. But I'm fascinated about the playmaking all year long. And it's not like I need him to make advanced reads. I need him to make simple.
No, his scoring gravity is so massive that he doesn't have to make advanced reads. It's like, oh, look, a third defender's coming at me in this possession, and I've had the ball for 10 seconds. Surely someone's open. Just make the simple pass.
He's a walking 25-point night.
You're getting 10 to 15 of them at the line.
It's hard to say this, and it's going to sound ridiculous, and people watching within the first 5 minutes of this podcast might hate it. For somebody who's going to score 25 to 30 points a night, he seems easy to guard. And what I mean by that is that I feel like you could bait him into the shots you want as a defense. Like there were times where he's just posting up like Kyan Evans or Seth Trimble or whatever, in the mid post, the free throw line extended, and guys are stagnant. They're resting. and he's going to, turn and either hit the shot or not hit it, but like he's not doing anything to make the defense work in that scenario. So it's almost like guard him with a smaller guy, and he might just turn his back and go into back to the basket like 15-foot fader mode instead of like being that guy who is consistently getting downhill, getting fouled. When he is in attack mode like that, you can't. And if he gets to his right side, like it's a wrap. Like he's getting fouled or he's finishing. But man, I don't know. I feel like it's like the antithesis of the way BYU would prefer to play when he does just like hold the ball. And I feel like we also need to talk more positively about him, because there is a lot of positive stuff. I don't want to just come off as we're hating on him.
No, but it's good. We're going to nitpick the top three guys, Darren and Cam Boozer and AJ. We're going to nitpick all year long.
I don't know if we can nitpick Cam.
I mean, he's perfect to me. So I think with AJ, though, that post up where he can get it in the corner and then get to the middle of the paint and shoot over, like, it's an unbelievable move. Like, he has that high release. He jumps higher than people. Like, it's like, that one's like tough to defend. But I understand where you're at with that, Corey, because it's like, if he could get someone his size, maybe at the next level almost, or like a little bit stronger, you'd think if you wall him off first, that's where he could run into some trouble. Because when he has a head of steam, he's just such an athlete and so lengthy that he comes at you with power too. But I don't know. AJ rocks. I've been very, very impressed. And from Nebraska, I had some questions about just the defense and some of the shot selection, to one game next in the exhibition in North Carolina. It seems like he took huge leaps. So he's going to be a monster this year.
And I love his competitiveness. Like, he plays so hard. Like, the give a shit factor is, off the charts with him. I don't feel like he's ever taking a play off. So yeah, he's going to be contentious, I think, because he is going to have such sexy scoring numbers. His physical tools are out of control. BYU is winning. So like, that's a good thing in their exhibitions, whatever. But like, both teams play hard, like in these games. He's great. And like you said, we're going to nitpick the top guys because that's what the job is. You gotta, what do they need to improve on? Because it's not just for college. It's what do they need to get better at the next level when they're not the best player in the league as soon as they step forward. You see what Cooper Flagg is struggling coming in as a young player. He's having ups, he's having downs. That's normal as they get acclimated. And these top guys are also going to get acclimated and have some struggles when, they reach that next level. But he's super talented, but he's not the only talented guy on that team, Metcalf. Anybody else on BYU kind of pop?
Robert Wright looks awesome. I love how effortlessly he gets paint touches, and I just wish that, and going back to the AJ thing, sorry, but like I wish AJ would kind of feed into how Wright gets paint touches, kicks, relocates, and just keeps that offense flowing the way that we saw BYU kind of run their offense last year instead of being a ball stopper. I think Wright is a really, really awesome addition for them. Richie Saunders looks kind of the same as he did last year, but just can't buy a shot right now. Not too worried about it long term. And as Wright and DeBonsa continue to get just effortless paint touches, he should just live
that
in the corner.
Pass where Caleb Wilson like came over and he was in midair and dished it off, like sandwiched between two guys to the corner for a three. Sick.
Yeah.
He seems like he does that every game. It's like a couple passes where you're like, what the heck just happened? Rewind it. Like he rocks.
Yeah.
Regardless of his NBA upside or how you feel about him, like, the dude could play point guard. He's going to
get, he's getting at least a cup of coffee, but he's also going to be the guy who's in a position where it's like, you're going to be the most valuable point guard NIL wise. That it's a tough decision for you to like, do I want to like be in the G League and bounce up and down and have to scrap claw because, he's just going to make so much money in college basketball that he might be a mainstay. Yeah. Obviously Richie, a little older, this is going to be it for him, right? Like, he's going to have to come out this year. So, but BYU is going to be great. Like, I think the thing that I got from the game of North Carolina is like, I think both those teams are really good.
Yeah, I actually agree with you. I think I was more impressed with North Carolina than like BYU, obviously because of AJ and stuff. But North Carolina, I was like, okay, they're gonna be scrappy this year. They're gonna be fun.
Would they come at 25? I think they were they ranked?
Sounds right.
It
They
just
were like
seemed-
right on the fringe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
sorry for
I
the
think-
college diehards out there. We have different numbers in our head for rankings.
I think
right now.
I think they're gonna play their
25.
way up. Yeah, I think they're gonna play their way up.
It
higher
seemed
than
too
that.
low. Yeah, they seemed like a.
I think there were
15 team.
reasonable questions about their guard play.
They felt way more cohesive than
Yeah.
I was anticipating.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, it was almost the inverse of how I felt about how BYU's team was running and operating, whereas a lot of kick, kill, and then survey. I thought everything North Carolina was doing was really connected.
It was also the inverse of how North Carolina played last year.
Correct.
But it's exciting. And, part of the excitement, this is a draft show. Caleb Wilson, boys.
Thank goodness.
Get on the train, folks. It's still early.
Yeah.
It's still early. It's still
He
early.
looks yeah, it's not too early. It might be too late, actually. He looks like 4 inches bigger than I thought he was going to. And I thought he was going to be gigantic. Like, just seeing him on the court at times, you're like, he is humongous. I know he's listed at 6'10", like 215 or whatever North Carolina has him at. But I was like, yeah, he looks it. He looks it on tape right now.
I need to know what his wingspan is, because it's like listed, like rumored,
like 8'9".
7 foot. And it's like, he got the longest arm. He looks like an octopus. Like, and Jesus, like the disruption defensively, deflections, block shots, whether it's weak side, on the ball, pokeaways, he's everywhere at once. Maybe choppy feet on some closeouts every now and then instead of the flybys, putting your team at a disadvantage. But I'll live with that, given everything else he brings to the table, Metcalf.
Yeah, but when he does get a block on some of those threes, when guys are like,
no,
I can get it over him, it looks super cool. So, it's like you got to balance it.
Brazil special.
Yeah, I'm still not sure he's ever blocked one of those.
It's too soon.
No, but I'm sticking with the defense. Guys that big don't sit down in a stance and move laterally like he does. That it's shocking.
He's a true 1 through 5 guy.
Yeah, because he has the strength for interior. He has the athleticism and explosiveness to be that weak side rim protector. He can sit down in a stance and slide and cut off drives from guards. It's like, oh my God. And then even when the quicker ones blow past him, he does such a good job of just opening up his hips, staying connected, and then using his length to contest it from behind. And legit has some of the best defensive tools and fundamentals and athleticism in this class.
Yeah. And he thinks the game fast too.
Yeah.
Like, he knows where to be. He's got the tools, but like, he's also smart. But I don't know, Rucker. I thought there was stuff to get excited about offensively too.
Yeah, the full package, I think, is just eye-opening. This is one guy coming into the year, I thought it was going to be like, okay, we might take a couple months before we're like, hey, Caleb Wilson's waking up, and it's going to be like, we need to all be on high alert because this one looks different. For that showing in the exhibition game, I was like, oh boys, here we go. I mean, this looks like a guy that, I mean, he's going to be in the top 4 to me right now. Like, and it's not just the potential and the upside, which is ridiculous. It's more ready right now than I was expecting. And I love how active he is around the basket. And he's a force down there. I mean, he plays hard too. Like, he plays tough. He doesn't play 215 pounds. He plays like he's 250. And offensively, like, there's just some flashes where, like, yeah, I know the shot. We've talked about it on plenty of other No Ceilings podcasts, all preseason stuff. Like, we've talked, hey, can the outside shot? He had a rough 3 from the top of the key. Then he gets a pass, like in a post up, like maybe a couple feet inside the 3-point line, baseline, turn around, nothing but net. So, I mean,
that's his shot.
That's his shot right there. And then you get him downhill. There's just so many tools. You're like,
he draws contact, like he goes into the contact.
He's physical. He welcomes it. He doesn't shy away from it. And then
second chance points.
Yeah, the second chance points gets me the most excited because he is going to be a pain in the butt around the basket if you're guarding him because he's so lengthy and tough and quick. So, man, he's a monster. It's just how quickly and like consistently can you get that production. But I think he's going to be a beast this year for North Carolina.
Metcalf, how quickly and consistently can our guy Derek Dixon get some love?
This guy rocks. I'm
he's on my watch list.
Yeah.
He's on my watch list. Yeah.
He's very good. And it's just the offensive versatility with him is just effortless. Gorgeous shot, really smart passer. He's not like the most explosive athlete, but strong, good balance, good footwork, and just felt like really shockingly composed for a freshman and just unflustered when put under pressure. So I'm really excited to see how his role continues to evolve and develop throughout this year.
He was really good in the EYBL. Like this is not to me, it's not really a surprise to me. No. And I talk about athletic, that Seth Trimble dunk.
Want you to bring it up for like the next last 5 minutes. So every scout I talked to is like, hey, I can't give up on Seth Trimble. And I was like, gosh, we've been doing this song and dance for 15 years. And then all of a sudden he throws down that open. I'm like, maybe I'm not giving up on Seth Trimble. Like maybe he's
an awesome defender. He's like a freak athlete. Really good rim pressure, awesome in the open court. Who cares about shooting? It's overrated.
It seems like a value find that he lands in the right place. And you're like, we look back and you're like, gosh, what a great find for that team. Like,
and could he not play a role like Gary Payton II or Craig Porter or something like that?
Yeah, Gary Payton, I think probably longer.
Yeah.
But maybe the Craig Porter, potentially something like that. I could see that.
Yeah,
seems like a Raptors kind of guy.
Yeah, they just took 2 of those though.
Well, you keep taking them until
you just keep taking them. Keep doubling down. You're at the casino. Really shy away from
split, double down.
I think it's always big too with those guys when they go into the pre-draft process when you hear like they're like, oh, who do you compare your game to, and they're listing off guys like that. And it's like, okay, you're not being unrealistic. Like when you get a guy that's like, oh, I'm gonna be a second rounder, but probably Paul George. You're like, okay, we might have some troubles here, but and they're saying the defensive specialists are like the role guys.
Talking about 2025 Paul George, that's
easy drive by Paul George, and I was trying to compliment him. But yeah, Seth makes a couple plays a game, and you're like, I could see why with that size, that athleticism, but that oop was vicious. I was like, oh gosh, I can see out of your chair.
That was fun. Let's pivot to some more games. We have more reactions, more first impressions. Besides just UNC, BYU, did you guys watch the Washington UNLV game?
I did not.
No, yet. I did not yet. But talk to me, because Washington's got a lot of guys that I'm very excited about. So I want to hear. Let's get the scouting report from Mr. Tolaba.
Man.
Hans, Bubby.
Oh man,
I'm your white knight. And I need him to be awesome so I could quote Die Hard all year.
Awesome. He is awesome. I mean, look, he was awesome in the U19s. He was awesome last year sorry for the pronunciation, Wurzburg. I think it was.
He did good there.
And in the second division, like main club, like he was great in both spots. I looked up his measurements from the Adidas Eurocamp in 2024, and it looks like, because Washington lists him at 6'11", he measured 6'9.5" without shoes in 2024 at Eurocamp. And then he's got a nearly 7'2" wingspan. He's strong. Yeah. He rebounds the absolute hell out of the ball on both sides. His hands look gigantic. Yeah. Like mitts. I think he could pass it a little bit. He's not like, you can give him the ball in the post. He's got good footwork, but he's not like Şengün, where he's got like counters. When he maybe has one counter, he doesn't have the counter to the counter, but he's going to be a killer out of the short roll. He's just a beast on both sides of the ball. And I think that he's going to be capable of like playing either like as a center or as like a forward with another center, depending on who the center is.
So that's how he played at FIBA with Eric Reeby.
Right.
Now at UConn, but
I'm trying not to do the white on white, but is he going to be Hartenstein?
So Albert, no ceiling legend, I believe.
Garbage time Gim
comped him to Hartenstein.
So my counter or my secondary question to that, because I like that, but I feel like that player should be getting drafted higher now And this is a compliment to Hans, because I'm like,
well, I have him in my lottery right now. So
of course you do.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to say is like, but everyone should be buzzing more and more to like, I feel like if you can be a rebounding machine and do the little things at a high clip, it's like, okay, well, that still is a top 20 big right now, like your top 20 pick.
Yeah,
that's so desired. Like we saw it with OKC. We saw how having depth with like the Pacers, you need depth. You need guys that can play different roles. So I feel like that's what gets me quickly
with
mind.
This year's big class.
This year's big class. Yes,
there are questions.
A lot of questions.
He might be the safest. He might be the safest big.
Well, there you go. That's what I'm trying to get. Like,
wow, you're out on Cam Boozer that quickly. Interesting.
I don't look at Cam Boozer as a
breaking news.
You know that I don't look at him as a big.
Ground floor host.
We'll end with Cam Boozer. Okay, that way we can
you're
go
save
through
the
whole thing.
Save the haterade for later. Got it.
Yeah. Right. No, so you mentioned like Hartenstein. I think like if you're looking at maybe like what would be his like lower end, like maybe like Arkansas Jalen Williams.
Oh, Metcalf loves him.
Yes. Well,
coward
without the charging. A Mo Wagner, but then like to me, and like I don't think he has the same shooting projection, but maybe better defensive projection. Chin strap Kevin Love, like just wasn't shooting a ton of threes yet, but was shooting a few of them. But just an absolute beast on the board. Like I'm not quite that tier,
yeah,
but a little bit below that is where I think we might end up looking at him like by the end of this season, because I think that Washington team's going to be good.
Yeah,
they're going to be fun. I like
they have some really fun pieces. How did Yates look?
Yikes.
Mandaquit.
I thought he gives me like Shellstad vibes. Like he's just going to be like a really great college point guard. Probably gets a cup of coffee, but going to make too much money in college to like think about him as a prospect anytime soon. But like he definitely knows how to play. He looked like he did, when he was playing in high school. Like to me, he looked the same.
Just a really good floor general.
Yeah. Yates had one shot that was so tough to look at that I was fun. I think I got to walk away from my iPad and come back to this to kind of give myself a breather. So I don't, because when I saw him last year against Rutgers, he was awesome.
Yeah.
Like he
had an insane end to like last 2 months of the season.
Yeah.
For USC.
He'll be good.
So this is one of those, like, I'm not overreacting to one shot in an exhibition game, but it was like, didn't look like the kind of improvement you want on like an open shot. But he's an interesting guy. He's going to be part of the reason why I think Washington's going to be really good.
Yeah.
But you guys need to get on the Steinbach thing, because
outside.
Yeah. I mean, well, it's not like you've never watched him, but you should watch the college context when you can, like, because he's been good everywhere he's been.
Yeah.
He's young. He's like pro ready frame. I think, by the time the draft rolls around, like he's strong. He's got better size than I think I thought he had initially. Mm-hmm. And then seeing him on the college court, I was like, oh, he looks gigantic.
Yeah.
And so he's a fun one. Is there any games that you want to hit? There were a ton. Who's tickling your fancy right now? Do we need to go to Arkansas so we could talk about Billy Richmond? I mean, what are we doing?
I don't think we have enough time for that.
Yeah. There's a lot of games. That's why it's like, hey, okay, I've watched every other one, so I feel like the Washington one just kind of slipped through the cracks. I'll open mic it. Anyone?
Let's pair Arkansas with Cincinnati, because Arkansas whooped Cincinnati. I'm struggling with Sean Abayev. Is he the worst defender in the country?
We're off. We're rolling now. We're off and running.
Worst? I don't think so. I think when you're 6'8", and I think he sees my chiropractor, he might be able to get another inch because he's a little hunched over. Shout out to Dr. Cliff on Long Island. He'll get him right.
Hey, get a free visit. Dr. Cliff's getting shout outs. No free shout outs.
But you have a little more runway defensively when you're 6'8".
Right.
If he was 6'3", I'd be like, it might be disqualifying. But there's ways around it. That's going to be a weird team, because there are going to be
really
nights where
weird
Sean like just goes for like, did you see he had 37 tonight? Like there are going to be those nights.
Perfect timing. Love that. But like in the first half against Michigan, he looked really good, kind of faded in the second, but whatever. But it's like, I love the shot. I liked a lot of the playmaking and like off ball creation stuff with him in
He's
high
a really
school.
slick passer.
Yeah. Like, and I feel like we haven't really seen a ton of that yet.
He had a really nice kind of like read to the like dunker spot, like on a rope in the Arkansas game, like first half.
I need more of it, is what I'm saying. But I'm still just kind of struggling to figure out what he's doing out there when the shot isn't falling yet. I know he's a really good passer, but I'm a little concerned how long it takes that to kind of get incorporated into Cincinnati's offense, if that makes sense.
Well, we got a chance to see him at the Nike Hoop Summit. I also saw him at the McDonald's game. I got a chance to see him at the Under Armour U24 practices like the summer before, like going on a year and a half, 2 years ago. My guy gets buckets. Like that's that's what he does. Like he shoots the ball. That ball comes to his hands. Like that's going to be his first look. And he is a willing passer. He's a really creative passer too. So I kind of feel like they should probably just be running him as like an initiator. And
I would love that, but then that would feed more into the high school stuff, the OTE stuff that I really enjoyed. But I feel like we haven't gotten a ton of that yet. But obviously
we haven't. We haven't. And that's the kind of team I think they're going to be ups and downs. But speaking of the OTE, Malik Thomas, who played in the OTE, really, really nice start.
I'm loving what I'm seeing from him. Absolutely loving it. And it's not just the scoring, but it's just kind of like the mentality you can see on the court and the desire to be coached. And I like the in-game adjustments from him. I feel like he makes a mistake. All right, like be better, and then right away it fixes it. So
that Arkansas team, they all have a tenacious, ferocious energy.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be a lot better than people think. Like, and I think people thought they were going to be good, but I think like they could be a scary team if things come together. And like Acuff, like if you have questions about him as a prospect, fine. But Metcalf and I were talking earlier today, like that dude is always getting to the rim. His rim pressure is unbelievable.
Can't keep him out of the paint.
Yeah,
can't keep him out. He's just got to figure out everything between. But I'm in.
I am in.
Can you help me with him? Like
define in.
Yeah, like. I need a pro comp because I'm not.
Why
there
can't
at,
he be Cole? Like, what did Cole Anthony do better than him?
Fair.
No, so I'm fine there. I guess I'm trying to find that type of like what I said today to Metcalf is like, is he starting for a good team, or is he your like sixth man that you're pumped up about? That's like probably full time heavy minutes for. But you know what I'm trying to say? Metcalf might have explained it better than I just did, but.
Right, like is he starting for the Brooklyn Nets or is he starting for?
Right, is he a starter on a bad team or like a sixth man on a good team?
Because I like him. The more I watch him, I get more. I'm like, okay, all right, I see it, but I feel like I wish he had another gear.
And look, AJ Mitchell's taller.
Yes,
right, but you can't keep him out of the paint.
Corey was listening to our pod earlier in my cap because I said AJ Mitchell, so this is creepy.
You know what? I didn't even listen.
But that's what I was saying is like they're so good at getting into the paint, creating rim pressure, and it's just that's such an art now. Because if you can figure out then how to finish with floaters or finish with touch, and then also use that as playmaking. Yeah, he's relentless.
I mean, look, stylistically, if you want, like, I think Stephon Marbury is like the comp, and like that's a tough person to be comp to. One, because he was unbelievably talented, like insanely talented. More athletic as far as like bounce goes. I think that Acuff's first step is like really, really good. Mm-hmm. And he's controlled with it. He's not out of control. Like DJ Wagner, he was young. DJ Wagner was out of control. It was like if he's getting downhill, if a defender rotates over, like he's not going to be able to read that situation.
He was a kid from Mighty Ducks who couldn't stop.
Luis Mendoza.
Yes.
Luis.
Yeah. I stopped. Classic Luis.
Hey, Cuff with me. It's like, hey, I feel like because Marbury was also so good at with the hesitations and like shifting gears, and I think that's the next part with A-Cuff.
I think he's got it.
I feel like he just has. I need one more gear, but maybe it's just going to be coming with reps. Because every time I watch him, I'm like, okay, I get it now. I'm starting to see it a little bit more.
But dude, they have so many guys who need or don't need the ball. Like they've been able to share the ball. Like I don't think anybody's playing selfishly. I think everybody's getting to cook. But A-Cuff is like a higher usage guy, and somehow he's been able to translate that where I don't feel like he's pressing it all when he doesn't have the ball, or when he does have the ball, like he's forcing things. I really liked what I've seen from him. The size for NBA guards, it's always going to be a conversation. And, I think he's listed at 6'3", and it's like in your bra. Like we've stood next to him, like, but he's strong. He just goes about his business. Like he's got a quiet confidence. He can make shots. Like in high school, he took like a ridiculous amount of dribble jumpers.
Yeah.
So like the percentages are like a little skewed to where I think he's a better shooter than the numbers might indicate. But I think he's going to be like a guy who can drive them deep on a run potentially. Yeah. Like I think he could steer that ship. And like you saw, like they had a good run in the tournament last year compared to like where they were at in the season, where everybody thought they were going to be. Unfortunately beat my Johnnies. But like I think they're way better this year. Looks like Billy Richmond is a freak.
He's making threes. Shooter.
Why if Drake Powell is a top 20-ish pick?
Keep going. Don't stop.
Why
Keep
is
going.
Billy Richmond not a top 20?
There you go. There you go. I'm all the way in. Yeah. That dude is just a madman on the court. You're always feeling when Billy Richmond's on the court, and beautiful plays as a playmaker, unbelievable defense. He had one possession where he was going to swat someone, and then Trevon Brazile just decided to throw his shoulder into a guy driving, and I was like, what are you doing? Like, so other than that, he was perfect.
Over under 3.5 guys get drafted from Arkansas this year.
So, I'll go over.
I'm going over.
I'll go under.
I still feel Carter's gonna have that up and down year, and someone's gonna still be convinced that they're unlocking.
I thought he played well. Like
I think he's fine.
None of these guys are gonna be like, hey, he's scoring 20 every single night.
Right. That's
not how their offense is being built, and they have too many guys.
They have too much talent, and that's why I'm saying evaluators, scouts are gonna look and be like, hey, Carter, Arkansas went 5-0, and
if you watched Carter at OTE, he was not shy.
Right.
Like at all. That he was the guy. He was like shot creator, get busy off the bounce, like combo moves, pulling up. Like he's buying in, playing a role. There is some, I think, untapped self-creation ability for him. And I'm impressed that he's just, because based on what I saw in high school, like I didn't know if he could play this way, where he could kind of fit in, play the role, be the guy who's going to knock down open threes, make just sharp cuts, defend, be athletic. I didn't know if he could do it. And he started doing it at the end of the year really consistently. And I think it's kind of carried over. I don't know if we're going to see a major leap from him, just because I don't think his role has changed all that much. It just might be sustained throughout the entire season rather than just towards the end.
I'd just like to, like Rucker was saying about Richmond, I'd just like to feel him out there a little more. And I feel like there are just too many stretches where he just kind of fades away. I don't think he's played poorly at all, but I'd like to see a little more assertiveness on both ends of the floor. Obviously he's not going to go ISO and break guys down, because that's not how any of those guys are really playing right now. But I just feel like there are too many stretches of him disappearing, unfortunately.
I don't know. I haven't really felt like that too much.
I know what McDuff's saying, because you also
I get it too. I think it's hard. They have two.
The first game was better, but the Memphis one was. I just didn't feel him as much.
But that's also the tough part about, like, hey, there's 4 guys on the court that I'm wanting to watch, and you look, and then you're all of a sudden like, okay, like
they're the most annoying team to watch.
They're going to be annoying, but he had one possession where I feel like he got in transition and was just like super aggressive, and I was like, there you go, Carter. And I think he got to the foul line, or he had a dunk or something, but what Corey's even saying is like, hey, maybe this is a good point of like, if Carter could sell, like if scouts could say like, hey, look at him being consistent as like a complementary piece, that might be even more intriguing to NBA scouts and NBA teams, because they're like, well, early on now he can play off the ball. He can be not the guy that needs the ball in his hand all the time. And you still have upside to unlock. So it's going to be a tough team, because I really like a lot of their pieces. They've got a lot of talent there, obviously, shout out Coach Cal, but this is a fun roster.
Yeah, he looks nice.
Some of the passes like he's capable of making are really fun. Like there's just a modernality to somehow, like because I feel like every one of their players are kind of antiquated and they're somehow the collective is allowing them to like shine early on, which I think is really cool. Okay, where are we going next? I think there's so many games that have happened.
We gotta hit Kansas and Louisville.
All right. Well,
let's save Tennessee for Duke for the last, because I feel like that one's gonna get ugly.
I got to riff on Baylor, Indiana at some point too.
Okay, well you can go for it right now, just for a riff.
Okay.
Riff.
Cameron Carr fans.
He looked fun.
We have never been more back.
We've never been more back.
I was super high on him coming out of high school, and then it just didn't work at Tennessee. As we bypass the Tennessee conversation for later, it just didn't work, and I don't know why. That's something we're gonna have to dig into. Obviously, it felt like he announced his commitment to Baylor like mid-season, which was right, which was weird. Yeah. So there's some kind of smoke. He looked hitting shots off the bounce, stepping back to the NBA line, defensively everywhere, deflections, coming over as the low man, punching shots at the rim. I mean, getting out in transition, like monster dunks. The wingspan looks insane. He looks confident. It looks like he picked up where he left off from high school after not really playing for the last 2 years. So being comfortable with like the speed and everything, it was super, super encouraging.
Yeah, and I only caught the first half of that game, but I was like, oh God, it's so good to see him actually playing again for basically the first time in the last 3 years. And he's always such a good shooter. I think he's going to be really valuable for that Baylor team.
Well, they need him.
Yeah.
Losing Robert Wright, as we wax poetic about him,
not good.
For BYU, they just don't have a table setter.
Yeah.
Their guards can all get buckets, but it doesn't feel like they have somebody who can organize and get them into sets and not be looking for their own shot. So I think they're going to be a struggle. And like, I thought Tunde Yosefu played a really good game. He came out, he looked pretty rough his first few possessions, like he was bobbling the ball. It looked like he had some nerves. Handle looked really loose at times throughout the day. Then he got more comfortable as the game went on. He hit 2 big threes in the last 6 minutes from behind the NBA line, which was really great to see. He was a beast defensively. Like he did all the things that we loved that he was doing, but like it feels like he's going to suffer in ways that like VJ Edgecombe didn't last year, where, what's the knock on VJ? Like, oh, handle's a little bit loose. Maybe the self-creation needs some improvement, but like he had a cushion with Robert Wright to handle all those responsibilities, in which I don't know where that's coming from with Baylor in the same way that that issue might look worse for Tunde this year than it did for VJ. And obviously VJ is, I don't know, probably going to be a first team All-NBA player the way he's come out of the gate this year as a rookie. It looks like, so, those issues maybe are overblown in general, but I really liked what I did see from Tunde. He did all the dirty work stuff, and knocking down 2 big shots late, I thought was, a really good sign as well.
It's wild how much sorry, Rucker. It's wild how much his game has grown and improved in doing those little things. Just over like the last year.
Yeah, totally.
All I was going to say is every single time I feel like I've seen Tunde, it's the same report. And I feel like he's like a heavyweight boxer that like the early rounds just kind of like he gets you going in the late rounds. Like I feel like Tunde gets stronger as the game always goes on, because I feel like I've seen him a couple times in person. I'm like, all right, he started out, he's struggling a little bit, and then it's just as the game goes on, Tunde starts getting really tough to deal with because of that frame and that tenacity. So, man, he's gonna be fun this year. And Cameron Carr, I couldn't be more pumped about that curveball. Like that was the one I feel like I got a text about that, and I was like, oh, that's the curveball we need in this class. Is Cameron Carr all of a sudden starts to believe again? Like, I'm pumped about that.
It may have been a couple of years late, but it'll make us look smart in the long run.
The process is there's nothing wrong with the process.
Nothing wrong with the process.
No, on the Indiana side, Tuck Train's rolling.
Tuck Train is, I hear that
it's left the station.
Tuck Train's, full speed ahead with the Tuck Train.
I've always been skeptical of Tucker. I still am, because like he's moving like fat Luca out there. And honestly, they might be the same age. Like, to be completely honest,
honestly, might be.
But he was incredible. Like, and I think what clicked for me watching, and they weren't even really giving him the reps, where I was like, oh, he should be the point guard. Like, I get it. Like Connor Enright, college point guard. Tucker DeVries should be the guy running ball screens and using his height to whip passes all over the floor, hit pocket pass. Like, he's a really gifted passer. And I think that Indiana needs him to be more than a connective passer. He needs to be more of like a primary playmaker, to complement like his really great scoring. Like, he's sharp cuts. He knows how to move off ball and like lull guys to sleep and get to the rim, even as he's moving like fat Luca a little bit. We know he's a tough shot maker. That team's going to be a tough watch if it's not him kind of playing heliocentric in my mind.
He can play. I think we've always thought,
he's got to stay healthy.
Yeah, he's just got to stay healthy. It's always just been the injuries. And so like the hope is that he had, even though he's a little older, the hope is that he just stays healthy this year. And it's like, oh gosh, someone will give him a shot for sure. Yeah, because of just how dangerous he is as a scorer. Yeah.
To me, I think like I always knew he was like a skilled passer, but something clicked watching the game for me where I was like, okay, if he can really tap into that in the way that almost like Michigan gave Danny Wolf the keys last year, and it opened up like a new perspective on what he could be ultimately in his final form, to where I'm like, what if he is like I don't want him to be Dalton Connect, like where he's a wing scorer. Like I want him to be like, to really utilize his skills, and I want him to spam ball screens. That's what I want. And like, so tell your dad that.
But Dad,
because in this case it's justified.
You got size and you can shoot and you can offer a little versatility. I think any team, we've seen too many teams take chances on that. And I'm not even saying like Tucker's like, oh, you're rolling the dice, but it's like he will get a serious look because Max Strus, Sam Hauser coming out of college. I was like, man, who's he going to guard? And then all of a sudden now I'm like, Hauser can play on both sides. Like he's respectable. So they'll work with you. I've always thought Tucker has had a really good game. It's just always like, gosh, can you just stay healthy, please? So hopefully it's this year.
Yeah, I think it's going to be, this is the time to be optimistic. And if he does, I think he's got a real case to be a first round pick. Like ultimately, like if he stays healthy, because his production, I think, is going to be like pretty significant.
Gosh, our boy Maxwell Bombach's going to love this episode.
Yeah, he's
shout out Bombboards.
Yeah, that's right. No Stone Unturned, available on NoCeilingsNBA.com. All right, let's hit Kansas, Louisville. Two monster prospects. We got Darren Peterson. We have, from Louisville, who's my name is blanking right now. Michael Brown Jr. Thank you. It's late.
Easy one to forget. That one, 250 thou. Okay.
Two heavyweights. I mean, I'll tell you what, the top three guys came out giving everybody exactly what they needed. If you weren't aware, 24 points in the first half for Darren Peterson, knocking down threes every which way. I mean, talk to me. I feel like, Metcalf and I have been on the Darren Peterson train for a while. Rucker,
hates
Why
him.
do you think I hate him? That I have him at 2?
Well,
Why is it that I
clearly
hate him?
we know that.
He looked unbelievable. What do you want me to say? Guy rocks. Like, he looks great.
Well, you've had a chance to see him in, 2 summers ago at Formula Zero. So, like, what do you think about the evolution of his game that you've seen from then until now?
When I first saw him, he's going up against VJ and Asa
And that's Damian
Newell
Lillard's
and
camp.
Damian Lillard's invite camp. And so it's usually high school guys and either the top incoming freshmen for college or some of the top notable returners. So then at that camp was like Rasheer Fleming. He was going to be a junior at St. Joe's. So seeing him there, I knew he was going to struggle at times because he was the youngest guy, but it was also like, hey, it's Darren Peterson.
He was coming out of his junior year.
Yes, he was coming out of his junior year. So he was a baby there. And I thought like the best compliment the first day, like obviously I could tell he was talented, but like the best compliment of that day, I was like, he didn't seem like the youngest guy there. He seemed like he could go toe to toe with anyone, and then just got better throughout the week. And like seeing him now, we're going to nitpick, but like he checks so many boxes so damn fast. When you're watching him and you're evaluating and scouting, you're just like, okay, now what about the defense? You're like, gosh, I like a lot of this stuff. Is there stuff to improve on? Absolutely. But it's like what we would say is like no prospect is perfect, but he's pretty damn close. So,
Look, if you want to know what he needs to improve on, head to NoCeilsNBA.com and head to our shooting mechanic breakdown by Quinn Fishburne. We'll work out that leg flare that he's got going on.
The last thing I was gonna say, the first half, he had a couple like stop on a dime and got himself balanced, which I was just like, oh yeah, I love this. I just geek out on the little stuff where I feel like he wasn't rushing it. He really would settle his stuff. He makes an impact the moment he checks in the game too. It's like, all right, let's go. I'm ready to roll. So what's not to like?
Yeah. And like, I got a text from an NBA scout, like just left Kansas practice. Darren Peterson. Oh my God. Like like takes the practices serious. Like, but that's the stuff you want to hear. Like he's not just like turning it on when the cameras are on, like behind the scenes, like he has the right mentality to be great, as great as the expectations are, because AJ, Darren, and Cam have pretty significant expectations. And so far they're living up to those expectations. As much as we want to hammer AJ DeBonsa, that kid is a badass basketball player. But they just all have things that we're going to have to nitpick through the year, because we're placing these expectations that these are guys that are going to be able to lead NBA franchises in the future. Right now.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
There might be a significant gap amongst their peers in college, but they're going to go to the NBA and they're going to be going up against Jason Tatum and Kevin Durant and Luka Doncic and, Anthony Davis and then Victor Wembanyama and, like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Cade Cunningham. And all of a sudden it's not going to be as clear a delineation on the talent gap. So we're going to nitpick these guys, but they all gave us what we wanted. And Darren, I mean, he looks incredible. Like his movement is he just moves different on the court than other guards, man.
He just glides and just gets wherever he wants. It's such a unique combination of speed and deceleration and playing fast, playing slow, playing with power, playing with agility and finesse. It's like whatever you want or need him to do, he can do it from a physical standpoint. Yeah. And then if he's going to keep shooting it like this, holy crap.
And his handle is ridiculous.
It is arguably the best handle, I think, of this freshman class and of this draft class, and
arguably,
especially in high school. Just the way that he kept his dribble alive, regardless of how many help defenders came or how many times he got blitzed, he just always kept the dribble alive to make the right play, whether it's to get to the bucket or get to the rim himself, create for someone else on his team. I thought he was a little too eager to pick it up in that one Louisville game. Long term, not concerned about it, but yeah, and it's like, God, once the speed kind of really clicks with him at the college level, it's game over.
It felt like he was playing a different role that he's still getting accustomed to, because he dominated touches in high school. And now he's kind of playing a hybrid role, where he was doing a lot of catch and shoot stuff. Like a lot of his threes were off movement or just stationary, like catch and shoots. So it is kind of that delineation of like, all right, I got to figure out when to get my own, when to make plays, and pick my spots. But he lived up to the hype. Michael Brown struggled in the game. But he was incredible against Bucknell. And it's Bucknell, but they stuck with him in a large portion of the first half. Like it was a competitive game for a while. But when that kid's on, just an absolute flamethrower.
Yeah, he made a couple passes against Bucknell too that you're like, there we are. Like, that's why he got some passes that are just like, most guys can't throw that. Like that was ridiculous. So look, I think he was pressing a little bit against Kansas. You clearly could see like he probably felt Darren was on a roll and he's like, I can't make a shot right now. And I think he made one in the second half and the camera zooms in and he just kind of like smacked his hand. He's like, finally. Like, so I'm fine with Mike. I think he's going to be really special. And Metcalf pointed this out. He's like, they got to learn how to play together, that backcourt. It's still going to take some time. Like they got a talented backcourt right there. So
Conwell looks awesome.
Yeah, Conwell's gonna be good. I think Willie will find his groove too. Like they're gonna be fun, but they got to learn how to share the touches.
Worried. I think he's gonna be the odd man out.
Yeah.
One
always is. There's only one basketball, guys.
He's struggling a little bit. I think he had high expectations placed on him this offseason, especially being a part of this backcourt. And we need to give him runway and let him get comfortable, and hopefully he'll be fine. And I mean, having a weapon like that potentially off the bench is, really nice luxury to have for a basketball team where you have those two guys who could start, and then you bring somebody like that who can knock down shots off the bounce, play off the ball, and mesh. Theoretically, it makes a lot of sense. But he really seems like he's pressing. Shots aren't dropping. He's not finishing. He's kind of driving into traffic a little too much. So he needs a little time, but right now it's like, I don't know if he's definitely coming out this year.
Willie or Mikel?
Yeah. No, Mikel's coming out.
I was like, Jesus, where are we going with this? Okay. I was like, come on, guys. Well, I mean, he's only going to be a sophomore. It's okay. Yeah. It's just, I really do think it's tough. You got to learn how to play a different style, and you're all trying to kind of convince yourself that you got a little bit more game than the other guy, even though you might be like, hey, we're teammates. But I feel like when the game starts, it's like, let me go to work. Let me go. So they're just going to have to figure it out. And you could see that first game, they're all pressing a little bit.
Yeah, they were. And that's a much tougher game to kind of come out in, live action, televised, big expectations. So it wouldn't have shocked me if everybody in that game was pressing. So some other guys that I think are interesting, on the Kansas side, Flory Badinga. What I wonder with him is like, why doesn't he get as much love as like JoJo Tugler?
I think he might, depending on who you ask. Flory's a tough one for me. I think we're all wanting him to have more upside than he might.
I think he's one of those guys he probably is what he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think we know what he is right now.
A lot slower for him on both ends of the floor. I thought he was a little more patient, a little more disciplined. Didn't just immediately go up with it on offense when he caught it. Stayed a little more grounded and drop coverage and stuff around the rim too. I thought he looked significantly improved from what we saw last year.
Yeah, and maybe there will just be more of a spotlight on him this year with Kansas consistently being, a team that people want to watch this year compared to where I don't think they were, the most watchable last year.
And I'm pumped to watch that pick and roll chemistry with Darren and him improve. Yeah. They had that really nice empty corner lob, and would love to see more of that.
Yeah, and I think we will. Yeah. Arizona St. Mary's. Rucker, you're in Arizona. I'm in.
Okay. I'm in. Define in. Can you use it in a sentence?
I was worried about him defensively in high school because I thought he just didn't
care.
Yeah.
To put it
A lot of people in high school. Let's put it that way. A lot of people in high school will get worried if they care their senior year, which is okay. It's just okay.
Well, and to be fair, there wasn't a ton of film from his actual senior year on Synergy. It's mostly like the AAU stuff. So, grain of salt. Knew he had the tools. It's just like, do you have the care factor? And he looked like he had the care factor. I mean, he came out, he had, maybe my favorite defensive possession for like a wing that I saw, early in the game, played in multiple actions, like really fundamental closeout, choppy feet, sliding, bodying up, high hand, contest, block shot, like great stuff. Other than that, is like, I think the path is like, it's going to take a lot of time for the shot to get there if it ever does. So for him, it's like, can he be kind of like the evolutionary Aaron Gordon? And I know that the inverse of that, Metcalf, is he the evolutionary Derek Williams? And
that's what I struggled with him.
And I get both sides.
Yeah.
But I kind of feel like he has enough skill, juice, wins at every single level. Like, there's just something, you have to give somebody like that the benefit of the doubt, in my opinion. Like, and I think he's got a really creative handle for a guy who people talk about like he's just a pure power, stronger than everybody, finish around the rim. Like, I think he's just way more skilled than that.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna be really good this year. And I think he's gonna be a good pro. He might not be a star. In fact, I would bet against that. But
might be a star of his role, though.
Right.
Yeah.
That's where I start to get intrigued. Is not overdrafting, but if he kind of lands in the right situation, I think OP could be awesome for a team. Like, but I still draft him out? Yeah, absolutely. But it's just funny how it does tie into the Aaron Gordon thing, because Metcalf, even like when you compared it to him, then I was like, yeah, or what if he goes too early like Aaron Gordon did, and you find out, okay, maybe he's not the guy, but then he ends up in a new place, and all of a sudden, Aaron Gordon going to Denver, and you're like, look how outstanding he is in his role. So Koa is just going to be a one I'm patient with this year, because the situation, the team, they're going to play Florida right out of the gate in Vegas. So it's like, all right, I'm not going to be overreacting if Koa struggles against, the defending champs who are going to be loaded. So I like the tools. It's just kind of, I want to see what else develops this year. I want to see if it's the playmaking or he really becomes a consistent defensive threat. That's just kind of where I'm patient right now. I still like him. Still like him a lot.
Well, I think you should be patient with that stuff. He hasn't proved that he can do that stuff consistently. So that's the right approach for a guy like him. But he's just so talented. He's athletic. He's strong. He's physical. And that I think you bet on that, especially when you look at it, you go, oh yeah, he's been playing up like levels ever since he's a freshman and been dominating guys who are older than him.
He won a lot too, guys. We talk about Boozer all the time. He's won a lot.
He's won everything. Like, like we talk about Cam Boozer as this, insane winner, and he is, but like Koa Pete's not super far off, like as far as like his accomplishments. So I'm in on that. I mean, also,
what about Burries? Talk to me about Burries.
In on Burries.
Okay, I'm in on Burries.
I don't know why. So I saw him at the McDonald's game in person, and I don't know why I felt like I didn't like him as much as it seemed like I did in my notes.
I know what you mean. I
went back and read my notes, and like my first note was picking up Caden Boozer, 94 feet. Love it. And we've seen like NBA teams are guarding full court this year. It's early. Who knows if they can sustain that over the course of 82 games, but like early on in the season, taking a page, I think, out of like the OKC Indiana playbook of let's put pressure on guys. There's bigger ball handlers that are quote unquote now everybody's a point guard. Prove it. now we're going to guard you 94 feet. Like, can you sustain that? Also, the guys who actually are, now we're going to junk you up, not let you get you into your sets, tire you out, take time off the clock. And he's capable of doing that. Like, he's a pit bull defensively. He's got good size. And like, he can finish. He's strong. Offensively, like, I like his game. He plays at a really smooth pace. I thought he was awesome in the St. Mary's exhibition.
Yeah.
Like,
he reminds me of AJ Mitchell. Just that he's not a true point. He's not a true shooting guard. He's like a legit combo who can play on or off ball, plays within himself, and just insanely strong. And you see it with his rim pressure. You see it with his defense. He's just always smooth and composed and controlled and never just out over his skis. And I love just the positional strength at his age. It's such an advantage for him.
Yeah. Rucker, you seem confused by him too.
I no, AJ Mitchell is like my knight in shining armor. So comparing Braden Burries to him, I'm like, oh gosh, I'm in a dangerous place if I'm going to fall in love again. So
now it like in high school,
I love Burries.
In high school, because it seems like Arizona is going to let him run the show.
Seems like it.
I think they're quickly finding out they got to get him on the court quick because he's been so much more poised early on in these exhibitions and like under control. And I like how you say, Corey, he just plays always like balanced and controlled. And even when you try to speed him up, he makes you play to his speed. I like a lot of the tools. I think people are going to be down on him because he's a little bit of an older freshman, but who cares?
He'll be almost 21 on draft night, which, for a freshman is quite old.
He's older, but at the end of the day, can he help your NBA team? All right, go get him. Like I really have been impressed with him. So I think that's one of the guys, and I'm not just biased because I'm an Arizona guy. Like,
yeah, we know you.
One of those guys.
We know you're not biased.
Yeah, there you go. I was just colder on Burries because I was like, I don't know if this is a one and done. And then like the first couple of games, I'm like, oh gosh, I'm really
so composed.
Yeah, I was much more impressed than I was expecting, and I think he's going to be able to shoot it a little bit. Doesn't force it too much, but you also can see that he's confident in it.
Yeah, I want to see if the playmaking is there. Like, his playmaking has always been, I don't know, mediocre.
Yeah,
secondary to him.
Yeah, he feels more of like a good connective passer rather than like a table setter.
Yeah, but I think that's how they want to use him. Like, I think they want to use him more as a point guard role, and like he's not going to get the touches where he's scoring 20 to 30 a night like he did in EYBL. So that role that he shifts to, he seemed kind of comfortable in it already, and he did have flashes of some really intriguing playmaking in his high school tape. He's not like, and I think why anybody might be walking away like cooler, like when you walk away, because it's like it's not super flashy, it doesn't have the A cuff kind of like blinding speed to the rim. It's much more, I'm gonna get there and you can't really stop me, and it's gonna be smooth, and I'm gonna come off a screen tight, and I'll just get there and finish, or I'll take a shot off the bounce or whatever. It's not like super flashy though. So maybe that's why, but he's really good. Your guy,
it's Malcolm Brogdon, like Warriors, Sean Livingston, where it's like, it's not flashy, but you seem to always get the job done and you're always getting to your place. And so, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Aristode, what do you guys think?
It's kind of what I expected.
Wait and see.
Yeah.
He looks the part.
He had like, I think it was in, I don't know, semi-transition. He dipped his shoulder and drew a foul. And I thought they were going to call an offensive foul, but they didn't.
God, they love to do that.
And I was like, whoever he just hit looked like they got hit by a Mack truck.
He's big.
He plays super physical, and I like his shot. He's got a good looking shot. It's just, he's had a couple early these games where it's just like he hasn't produced as much as you're dreaming of, but I feel like he's the one I'm keeping an eye on as like, hey, middle of the year he might be taking.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of rust he's gonna have to shake off because obviously his whole senior year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he needs rust. He coaching like, oh yeah, you're not supposed to be glued to your man on the weak side of the floor and leave people open for layups. Like that's
yeah, but he didn't give up that corner three, so what's the
problem?
True.
Three's worth more than two. We all know that.
But learning from it. So
Called math. Okay.
I'm gonna wait and see there, but I would not be shocked if he's really making some noise after a couple months.
Shout out Mikey Lewis from St. Mary's too. He can go.
Always very intrigued.
Not a this year guy, but he can go. All right. Is it time?
Yeah. Let's just
bookend this thing.
Let's do this. Might be a 2-hour pod, but hey, thank you guys for joining us.
Let's get the Tennessee side done first. And Nate Ament. This is a guy that has some high expectations placed upon him. Some people have pontificated that he might have the most potential in the class, which you see a 6'10" shooter who with playmaking ability and can get to it off the bounce and defense. You understand why. Valuable archetype in the NBA. We've seen him have highs and lows in person, practices, games. Metcalf, I think you did like a little breakdown after the game. Give me your impressions. What was something you liked, and what was something you saw he needed to improve on?
It kind of looked exactly how I thought it was going to. I really liked him off ball when he was in those situations, and they ran him off screens to manufacture that space and separation for him. I thought he looked good because it's impossible for defenders to block or get late contests on a shot, and he's so comfortable with those late contests anyways that when he does get clean looks, he's such a good shooter. Unfortunately, they put him on ball a lot, and everything looked difficult. He just doesn't have the strength to move guys. He doesn't have the speed or agility to blow past guys. He couldn't create space. He couldn't get to the rim. And it was just a lot of settling for really, really tough contested mid-range jumpers. I liked a lot of his passing stuff in high school, and I feel like we didn't get any of that this year or in that Duke game. So obviously just one exhibition game. I think that was the second or third for Duke. So they had already gotten a couple under their belt already, but if Tennessee's going to use him all year as like this on-ball wing creator, I'm not loving that at all. And I'm going to get a little concerned about it. But if they put him more in that off-ball role and run him off pin downs and let him be that second side creator, that secondary offensive option, and actually let Jacoby Gillespie play point guard, I get a little more intrigued just because I don't think Ament has the physical tools to consistently create advantages for himself.
When those turnarounds go in, though, they look great.
Yeah, 1 out of every 10.
Well, he's better than that in high school, but not in the Duke game. I share a lot of the concerns. I think part of the reason he was so willing and so good at those turnaround faders in the mid post is because he couldn't get past that point.
Yeah.
It was like a level of a video game, like that you keep getting to that point and you just can't get past it. And he has the ability to just shoot over everybody. So it's something he can get to. And it's kind of a shot where it doesn't feel like it's the defender necessarily making him miss all the time. It's either going to be a make or miss based on his ability, but it's just not an efficient shot to get to consistently if you can't get to the other parts of the floor. And I don't think he's a bad finisher. He just can't get there.
Right. Just I'd love to see his easy buckets, and they didn't manufacture any of those for him. Just nothing was easy.
Everything was hard. Like from the get-go, I was just like, everything looks so hard, and he's doing everything he can to get this, try to get this shot off. I feel like they just need to post him up, let him get a mid-range, post up, face up, and get a shot. Because what Corey's saying, he could shoot over anyone.
Yeah.
But if you're trying to put him on the
situations, he has to be way more decisive because when they did put him on the elbow or on the block and give it to him there, it was dribble,
and they're pushing him back,
shoulder fake, and now he's a long two instead of right at the 5 feet out.
I think they got to get more creative. I think they either got to run him as like a screener, like running a pick and roll with a Jacoby Gillespie, or run like inverted pick and rolls where he's going to be able to get a switch, and now maybe he can take the guy off the bounce and you'll start seeing him get penetration. Now you can make use of the playmaking, get used to, getting downhill with momentum instead of playing kind of that brand of kill the clock and just kind of see what happens. And maybe even some Dalton Connect movement kind of stuff, some Chaz linear movement stuff too. If you can mix all of that up and find the right cocktail, it could be really, really fun. And this is a guy who, because it does feel like he's starting to fade a little bit from like top 5 conversations, not entirely by any means. But he is a guy who came in, I think he was the presumed number 4 guy very early in the cycle. And now he's kind of like in that next tier. If they find the right mix of the shot diet for him, I do think it's possible he gets back in that conversation.
Yeah, but that comes with shifting him to an off-ball role, which again, I love the stuff.
Well, I think it's got to be a mix. I think if he's just an off-ball guy, like,
well, yeah, I don't want him just standing in the corner the whole time. I like put him in motion, use him as that second side stuff, but don't just give him the ball and let him go to work like you can with Darren or AJ or Cam.
All right, let's.
He's a Robin. He's not a Batman. Like that. That's how I feel about Nate. Like he's not gonna be the guy. He can be an unbelievable asset for your guy, but I agree with Mecca. Like you can't give him the ball and just be like, here, go to work. You gotta get creative and try to figure out ways to make life easy for him instead of switching onto a guard. And it's like, well, you can't get past anyone because he's so young still. Like he's still a baby. I think he's still 18, right? Like, gotta give him some time. So I just want them to put in positions so like he can build some confidence and start to develop a little bit, and then you can hopefully start to see all the tools coming together. But it just seemed like he was pressing too much to try to create off the bounce against Duke, and it's like, hey, it's against Duke, but they'll play the next exhibition. It'll be unbelievable. We know how this goes. So
yeah, and Duke's gonna be a really great team this year. Yeah. They have who I think is the best player in college basketball, in Cam Boozer. Yeah. And I think we should probably hit some of the other guys before we talk about Cam, because those other conversations will probably be a little bit shorter, or maybe not, because maybe there's not many holes to poke in Cam's game. But I know I think we've all been Isaiah Evans fans for a couple of years. I mean, Metcalf, you seem to, this is one of your guys you're identifying, I think.
Yeah.
What have you liked with him in these exhibitions?
He coming into this year, he's probably already one of, if not the best off-ball shooters in the country. And now we're seeing him incorporate just more composure and versatility with his off-ball creation, with how he's running off screens, not immediately shooting it the second he touches it. Sometimes he'll reuse the screen and then shoot it, which is always exciting. Still not a whole lot of playmaking. Couple flashes here and there.
Never been his
always
game.
Exciting. It never will be. But I don't need it to, because of just the maturity already, and just his off-ball movement and off-ball creation has been really encouraging. And then I think there's still a ton of upside with this defense, with how competitive he is on that end of the floor. Good length, obviously not the strongest guy out there, but I think he's always fought really hard on that end.
Yeah, he is fiery. He plays with a lot of passion. He's the guy who's
big time FU attitude.
Yeah, big time. And he's always brought that. And on both sides of the ball, I mean, if you were watching him last year for the first time, he was just running off movement, spotting up. I mean, he shot 18 threes per 100 possessions, which is like
my favorite stat.
If you're shooting over 10, you're a guy who gets them up. So 18, for those who aren't like, number crunchers, is like completely insane. And, he obviously played like somewhat of a limited role last year. But he was, an absolutely lethal shot maker. But he can do that off the bounce too. And like that was a part of, I think, his game that he was known for in high school. Like he was known as like, having kind of like that. I think people were going to comp him to Brandon Ingram because, the aesthetic bias.
Yeah.
He was slim, long, Duke, not as tall. So if he could show some of that on-ball scoring consistently this year, as well as being the off-ball weapon, I think that separates you from being a guy like Jordan Hawkins, who, was incredible won a national championship, but has struggled to find his footing in the NBA, where you have to do a little bit more. And I also think that's where he is going to need to see some development in his playmaking ability. Can he leverage that scoring? But, this Duke team's not selfish by any means, so it's not like the ball's necessarily going to stick either. It's just, is it always a shot when it gets to you?
Right.
Is there anybody else that you kind of liked on this Duke squad, Rucker?
Dame.
As NBA guys, Dame, yeah.
Dame Sarr, I thought defensively was exactly what you wanted to see in your first exhibition game, and I think offensively we're going to be fine. Like I think he's still just the upside. Like just be patient. Duke fans should be very excited, but defensively he's gonna be
Monster.
an asset. He's gonna be a monster pretty early, but just offensively be patient. Let him kind of groom, or let him develop this year. But I thought Dame looked great. I think Duke looks great. I think their team looks really, really good. And there's a bit of everything when it comes to like, hey, some guys make an impact without, going 7 for 9, and still like Darren Harris. He made an unbelievable pass out to the Camp Boozer. So I like a lot of their guys. They look good.
Pat Gamba.
Pat looks good.
Over under 3.5 guys get drafted from Duke.
So this is one that actually at first seems obvious, but I actually think there's a lot of guys on that team that still could go back.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about Nick Homenia.
No.
Nick looks better than I was expecting, but we just haven't gotten like the box score to come with it. But like I started the game, I was like, Nate's making Nick Homenia look like Tony Allen on defense right now. So I mean,
he always does he's always doing something, even when he's either rebounding or he's making plays. Like he might not have the full box score, but he's going to find a way to make an impact somewhere on the court. That might not get you drafted this year.
Right. I'm going to say 3.
Yeah, I'm probably going to go under the 3.5.
Which 3? We didn't talk about Caden Boozer.
No.
Yeah,
I'm going to say Isaiah, Dame, and Cam.
Same.
Oh, 4.
Out on Pat.
Pat 4. Pat, if Pat's healthy, 4.
Yeah.
So, gosh,
Pat is really good.
He's very good. Yeah, it's not an indictment on the talent. I just like, I think with a lot of these guys where it's like, if your feedback is in the 20s or later, that's like, well, why wouldn't I just go back to Duke and make the same money? So,
yeah.
So Pat's it's only health for me.
Yeah,
but I mean,
he's everywhere.
He was hurt when we were at the Nike Hoop Summit.
Yeah,
he'll
be the number one guy I'm asking around about. Like, hey, did Pat green light with Pat with medicals? Green light? Like, if he's like, I like the tools too much. I still feel like he's maybe getting the rust off because like he missed some time getting ready for preseason and everything. So
because he was hurt again.
He's hurt again. So there you go. I'm just waiting, but I love Pat. I think he can play.
Yeah, he's a pro if he's healthy for sure. Okay, Cam Boozer. The last time that we got together, we were spouting out one question for each of the top 10 prospects on the No Ceilings, off-season board.
Yeah.
And I asked you guys, is it too early to say that Cam Boozer is a better prospect than Cooper Flagg? And we felt like we were getting ahead of our skis there. Is that question still crazy?
I just feel like they're different types of players.
No, I didn't ask if they were the same player.
I think Cam's...
Listen to the question.
Yeah, I know. I think Cam's an incredibly safe prospect, and I think the upside's higher than we probably all think. He's a monster. He's the Terminator.
He's your number one guy. You see, he's a safe prospect. Is your number one guy? Darren Peterson, AJ Duplantis are in this class.
You hate AJ and Darren.
He's the safest prospect. He is the safest prospect. If you want to feel the safest about taking a number one guy, I think he's one of the safest number one guys. And I think the upside is tremendous. Like I think his game ages like a fine wine. He's gonna play a very long time next level, and he wins all the time. He had a tough night shooting and was a 2020 game with 6 assists against Tennessee. Like, dude's a monster. So it's not slander to the other guys. I love Cam. I love Darren. I think AJ's got incredibly scary, fun upside. I just think Cam is a bad man on the court, and man, he's unbelievable around the basket. And some of the passes he made were beautiful reads. He just always looks composed, and nothing's bothering him. And if you get the best of him one possession, he's coming right back at you the next possession. So it's just
he engulfed
monster.
Gillespie's rim attempt. He just took it out of the air.
Oh, is that the one?
And then he passed ahead to Dame.
It was a snatch outlet immediately in like half a second for just like a catch dunk. It was like, oh gosh, that was unbelievable.
Yeah, it's like what you do to your little brother growing up in the driveway.
Yeah.
I was trying to say to Metcalf earlier, Corey, about Cam is he's so unbelievable around the basket. Like when he puts a shot up, he's so good at knowing immediately like where that next, if it doesn't go in, it's like, oh, he reads the angles. And like, I feel like his dad used to do that, where it's like all of a sudden it just turns into like, well, I'm getting it up there to almost create the next easy opportunity. His hands are soft. He keeps them up. He's got great timing and anticipation. So he's a beast. Dude's just a bad man.
My thing with Cam, because I mean, since the first time I've seen him in person, when early in high school, I've been saying he is the best prospect I've ever seen in person who is high school age for as long as I've been scouting. But my big question with him was always like, as great as he is, like when there's 4 minutes on the clock and it's a tight game and you're in game 5 of the playoffs and you can't run sets anymore, and you just need to give somebody the ball and they got to be able to create a look against your team's best defender, is he going to be a better option than somebody like Darren?
I understand.
And then it kind of clicked for me in a way where I was like, what if maybe it's just like he's Kawhi offensively?
Yeah.
And he develops like his handle a little bit more because his handle's tight and he gets to his spots. But what if he's just Kawhi? What if he's just like modern Kawhi? I mean, they're both robots.
Yeah.
They're both physical forces, strong as bulls. Like Kawhi's handle is crazy tight, but it's not like he's not like super shifty. He's not like Kyrie, like where it like is beautiful to watch. It's just like methodical and mechanical. And what if he just
footwork? Yep.
And he just has his spots on the floor. And obviously Kawhi was a championship level player, finals MVP, give him the ball, he'll create those shots. And I was like, well, what if he's just Kawhi then? And that's where he gets to offensively, where it's like he can just create his own shot anywhere on the floor. Because I've always looked at him not as a pure big and more as like a combo where he has a little more like creation skills. And even still, I was struggling with that question. And this kind of broke my brain when I was driving the other day, where I was like, he might just be like a Kawhi kind of player.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I like how you said that. It's like kind of opening my galaxy, because it's like Kawhi is so good with his feet and his lower body and his balance. And I feel like the moment we saw Cam at Hoop Summit, I was like, look at his lower base. He's got tree trunks for legs, and he's still 18. So it's just, that's where I'm trying to get to the point of like around the basket. It's like, well, you can try to get him off. It's like the Hulk or like the Juggernaut getting a rebound. It's like, well, you can't, you bounce off of him, and his lower base is so strong and his feet are so strong and his hands, like he's always composed. So it's like, hey, he might get to a point where it's like, well, I'm taking this shot at the basket, but if it doesn't go in, I know exactly where to go for the rebound and my timing, and everyone's watching it, but I'm chasing that down. I mean, it's just, he's a machine. And I never say this one too, but it's like you see the Duncan like mentality of just straight, and like each possession, I'm coming at you. You won that last one, I'm coming right back at you. Like, that's why I say he's the Terminator. I mean, Metcalf threw that, and I was like, that's a great analogy. So I mean, he's a tough one because it's just so enjoyable to watch, and you're just like the other day I was like, oh my gosh, he's got 18 rebounds. Like, what the heck? Like, he's a monster. So But as the game goes on, he gets stronger too. But I like that. That's a good. The Kawhi one's a good little.
Because I think the
cycle.
only question you could possibly have for him is he going to be able to create offense?
Yeah,
Right.
like that's been my only nitpick where it's like, man, I wish he had like a little more wiggle or whatever. But then it's also like, well, it doesn't matter because it's just his straight line A to B stuff. He's so strong, you can't bump him off his spot. He's gonna get through contact. The shot's more than good enough, and then he's just always making the right decision. Like he doesn't overcomplicate things. He doesn't force shots. He doesn't force passes. Like he's just so efficient and composed all the time. Where it's like you're back to your question of, all right, final couple minutes, go get a shot. Where it's like, yeah, I probably trust Darren to do that.
Yeah, right now.
But if it's just, hey, go make the right play, it's going to be Cam every single time.
Yeah,
not to say Darren's that far away,
no.
but it's just like all he does is make the right decision.
He does so many other things at such a higher level than basically every other player and prospect in the world that it's the only question. And you have to look at it almost as like, if we're projecting these guys to potentially be like, can they be in the finals one day? Could they be a finals MVP?
Mm-hmm.
Or can they be a situation where they're the best player, they're the Tatum and, they have a number 2 who wins finals MVP, whatever, Steph Curry, same thing. Can they lead a team to the finals? That's the only question. That's the only black mark where you would say, okay, Darren, and we've been talking about how special he is. And, AJ too, if you're an AJ guy, they have that over Cam unless they don't. And they just have it now.
I felt better about Cam for that question. You guys felt worse?
On who would I want to take?
No, like who could be a finals MVP?
I don't know if I would say I feel worse. It's just like, is Cam gonna need a partner who's gonna be sharing the load offensively in the same way that Darren or AJ might? Like obviously everybody needs sidekicks or partners, but is Cam gonna be the unequivocal shot creator
right
in the last 2 minutes of Game 6 of the NBA Finals? Because I think that's the level of prospect that you have. That's the lens I'm looking at him through. Not like if I was just like, hey, gun to your head, you have to take one prospect in this class, and they have to be the best.
Yeah,
I'm taking Cam, because I think, like you said, he's the safest to do that. But can he be the guy in the last couple of minutes? And I mean, again, and this is somebody who's always been higher on his shot creation because he does have a sidestep. He shot 40% from 3. It's just, is he going to develop a go-to that he can get to under any circumstance that's not at the rim, because that shot might not be there in the last 2 minutes of a finals game in the same way it will be, at the 8-minute mark of the first quarter. That's the only question that I've ever had with him.
Same.
But I'm starting to see a Kawhi vision kind of offensively where I think maybe he can develop kind of some of that and get to those mid-range spots, or maybe develop a little post turnaround, whatever. And it's making my life